So this is a great dash and bash. We're celebrating the achievement of some three rich white guys going to outer space. Not even they're kind of going to outer space. That's kind of it. Almost they're kind of
Branson
lying.
went
They're
to
not really
inner
going to outer
space.
space, huh?
Branson went to inner space
They're kind of edging space.
for like 8 seconds.
They're kind of edging space. That's what they're doing right now with space. So I want to show this heroic
They
mission.
didn't burn up on reentry though.
I want to show this heroic thing for all the poor kids who parents don't have jobs to watch this.
Down there, I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship with lots of other wonderful adults looking down to our beautiful, beautiful Earth.
You poor people, you're so beautiful, beautiful.
If we
You
can
poor
do
dreamers.
this, just imagine what you can do. Yay!
This motherfucker said, "Yay, I'm done."
I don't pay any taxes. I'm not even American. Yay! So that's Richard Branson. That's his message to all the people of the world.
Yeah, I mean, so
who can't afford anything right now.
So this is what happens, people. I want to give you a little bit of an insight on my relationship with Messiah Rhodes. Okay,
Yeah.
I send a text message, he doesn't answer them, so I'm going to force him to answer one of my text messages right here on the show because our favorite CEO in Seattle, Washington, Dan Price, has been covering this topic and others. And one of the things that he said on Twitter was, this is what happens when you get these billionaires that don't pay their taxes. This is what they're using. They're using the money they should have been paying in taxes. This is what they're using it on, right? I got to ask you, what is your opinion of Dan Price? Dan Price, for those that don't know, is a CEO who made headlines and enemies within Fox News and Fox Business for cutting his own salary and raising his company's minimum wage to $70,000 per year with a median income of $100,000 per year for his employees. All of the MAGA heads said that, this was socialism and that his business would fail, but his business tripled. He's actually doing even better than he was before because he doesn't have employees that are worried about whether or not they have enough money to get to and from work the next day. So I've always wanted to know your opinion of Dan Price because I now follow him. I try not to follow people on Twitter, but I follow him because he's bringing the heat on a lot of these economic issues as far as his recognizing dash and bash as a concept.
For me, I mean, he's a good critic of it all because I follow both right wing perspective and left wing perspective, and it feels good to see that perspective is being shared out there, knowing that people are sharing things that not based in reality. Why are people, not making my McDonald's burger? If they pay no more money, I won't be able to get my Big Mac. People still think that way. And luckily, Dan Price is out there who actually has money, not because most of the people critiquing this are not even rich people. They're like, it's
they
going to
just seem salty and jealous.
Yeah, no, the fuck out of here, bro. So I want to share this clip too to just show this even further, the scam that Richard Branson pulled.
As a matter of fact, after this, can you pull up Dan Price's Twitter feed so that we can kind of go over, because he always has some good nuggets when it comes, and especially when it comes to this Richard Branson bullshit. He had a lot of really cool things to say.
This article is from, you know what year this article is from?
10 years ago? That looks like 10 years ago.
2005, yo. So he got the money. He got this money in 2005. $225 million from taxpayers' money, New Mexico taxpayer money.
He got
their money.
Virgin about that because he's been bending us over.
So Virgin Galactic revealed on Tuesday, fucking years ago.
Sounds evil.
That up to 38,000 people from 126 countries, Virgin Galactic is planning to begin flights in the late 2008 or early 2009. That's what he planned to do. He ended up just sending himself to space and some rich friends. So there you have it. And then so New Mexico economic development, they gave this man this money so long ago. and you do shit with it for so long. So this is what happened. There's this whole kind of pie in the sky idea to build this spaceport in New Mexico. It never materialized until recently. I mean, it crashed a few times. It crashed a lot.
Well, you're gonna have that in R&D.
So this was happening. Like years ago, the New Mexico governor Bill Richardson gave this man $225 million to build something that wasn't even built yet. So I'm going to share this next article to show you, okay, what happened to that $225 million? Like, why did it just disappear into his pocket? And we see it like fucking years later. So this article is really cool. It's the long and rocky road to Sunday's launch. So it's pretty much like it says 17 years ago, he made this deal to make New Mexico a world-class spaceport. This man is not American. He ran this country and he got $225 million from New Mexico, with more money spent on operations and additional infrastructure. So, and then who's going to go to space? Remember you talked about those kids? Pretty much Tom Hanks, Katy Perry, Brad Pitt. This rich people are going to go to outer space.
Oh, so those are the kids he was talking about.
Yeah, okay. Those kids. The kids of like the wealthy elite. So fulfill their dreams and desires. So
I was going to say something like very mean.
What, to the kids?
I decided, oh, no, definitely not.
Oh, to the celebrities?
I'm going to shut up now.
So armed with studies from 2006, the spaceport eventually would generate $550 million to $1 billion in economic activity and create 4,000 jobs. The timing was great. They thought it was going to be a whole bunch of jobs. They thought it was going to be George. They thought it was going to be like some future stuff. They thought it was going to be like the future stuff intro. It turned out to be this one rich guy going to space with his rich friends.
And
so,
I mean, they went to a place where they had a little bit more space. I'm not sure that they were actually in outer space,
So, like, they had an accident. I don't remember. People remember in 2014 when the space flights blew up, killed some people. You think after that maybe we shouldn't just have random people do this, but they kept on going, and then now we have one of the richest men in the world going out of space, looking down on the poor people, while we burnt up with pyrotechnic clouds, arsonist clouds.
Yeah, again, it's probably better that I shut the fuck up.
So while New Mexico is celebrating, all like the $225 million investment into like what happened, this is what they're dealing with. Where New Mexico do enough to limit evictions. so this is what
I mean. If you evict everybody, then you could become a world-class spaceport.
So pretty much,
sure
while like they're celebrating, the world, one in the world, richest man going to space, they're like, oh, what can we do to stop poor people from being kicked out? I don't know what we can do. I don't know. What can we do? I don't know, man. What can we do, Dr. Genius? What can we do to keep poor people from getting kicked out? I don't know.
You can create a world-class spaceport.
So pretty much, meanwhile, while all these rich people going to space, 3 rich guys going out of space, a federal freeze on most evictions enacted last year is scheduled to expire July 31st, after the Biden administration extended the date by a month. The moratorium put in place by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in September was the only tool keeping millions of tenants in their homes in many states. So keep in mind, many people lost their jobs in the pandemic. Many people had to stay home with their kids, or didn't want to go to the job because the job didn't give a shit about their life. A whole bunch of different factors why people don't fell behind rent. As of June 7th, roughly 3.2 million people in the U.S. said they face eviction in the next 2 months, and that's just like, who knows? It might be more than that. Who wants to tell people, hey, I'm being evicted? Can you put down on record? I'm being kicked the fuck out of my house. Thank you.
Yep.
So some people might be way more than 3.2 million people. And that includes, their aunts, their uncles, the kids, the dog, the cat. So what's the situation in New Mexico? New Mexico, pretty much on their own. Evictions continue for other reasons. That's the most vaguest sentence I've ever seen in the article. So I don't know what that means. Evictions continue for other reasons. So even though it's a moratorium, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, there's a lot of illegal evictions taking place as well. But we should all pay attention to Richard Branson because he went to the upper atmosphere.
He half Ashley with the space. Isn't that crazy? You even go all the way to space. It's like, yo, I can't. What would be equivalent to that? It'd be like, I don't know, what would be the equivalent to that to sports, like celebrating somebody who barely did something, yeah, he punted the ball at the first base, yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow. It's like having a home run derby and you hit the ball to the warning track. It never gets over the wall. We're having a home run derby here, but this guy, wow, he almost hit a home run. He's so great.
Yeah. Give him a trophy. No, give him $225 million. Yo.
Wow, I should work on my warning track power if they're gonna give you that much, just fail to be a fucking. I don't.
So let's talk about this money, mind you. In 2005, New Mexico. In 2005, you have to realize inflation. I don't understand what inflation is. After $225 million in 2005, you gave that to Richard Branson, whatever the fuck.
$300 million now.
Right, it would be like $300 million now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So New Mexico and two major counties have set aside $171 million to help tenants with outstanding rent, utility payments, and other expenses. So they set up less money for their residents than a rich British guy. So now.
What year you said that was?
2005. I know it's more, but how much more? So that's this perspective. The money can go towards 15 months of rent, and including internet access. There's people who are stuck at home, and how are courts handling? So states and municipal judges are under orders to halt the final step in the eviction process. So pretty much people are still going to court to be evicted. But they're not sending the sheriff out just yet to throw their shit out. So that's what's going on in New Mexico. While they send one of the world's richest men to outer space. So how affordable is how?
Right.
300 million?
307 million, about 308 million. Yeah, so my math was pretty good. Yep, it would be about in today's money, 307,969,000.
So are evictions expected to create a huge surge of homelessness? One indication of the scope of the problem is census data showing 12,560 state residents concerned that it will be evicted over the next 2 months. So who knows, that number might be a low balling number too. And landlords may be reluctant to pursue emergency rental assistance as property and rental prices surge and current leases agreements expire. So that's what's going on in New Mexico. While we celebrate Virgin Galactic.
No, don't say we. I ain't in that.
You weren't like, yeah, you weren't cheering, watching the live stream, yay!
I told you the things I really want to say. I mean, we've been off for 4 weeks. We just be off forever.
Yeah. I mean, it is outrageous that this is. I didn't feel any. I mean, that what was crazy to me is that I actually love space. I love space. I love the universe. I love reading about that stuff. But when he did that, I didn't feel
in outer space.
exactly. I didn't feel anything for that when he did that. I was like, so what? Fuck you.
The human race.
And like, what are we getting out of this? Not a goddamn thing. You know, like we ain't getting enough. Actually, we were paying for that. We were paying for that shit. You know, like, fuck you, yo. So
do me a favor and pull up Dan Price's Twitter account for the audience to just, give them a little bit of what the kind of stuff we're talking about, because I thought that he had some pretty interesting tweets about that launch as well. He's always spitting some shit. 4 hours ago, just so we're clear, Richard Branson, worth $5.3 billion, got $220 million from taxpayers in New Mexico, one of the poorest states, to start a space travel business that 0.02% of the population can afford tickets for. I kid you not, people. I didn't do this on purpose. It just so happens that we were going to report on this, and I mentioned Dan Price, and Dan Price was reporting on this 4 hours ago. I wish,
like we said, $225 million, which is like you said, will be $307 million now. And we saw how many people are facing eviction in that state, and how much money that they gave to help people last year, which is nearly half of what they gave Richard Branson to shoot his load into space. Not even, he didn't even shoot his whole load. He kind of like, dry
No,
heat.
he did shoot his whole load. It just didn't shoot off. It just kind of dribbled. Dan Price. Dan Price, another Dan Price tweet. Call me strange, but if you can afford to start your own rocket company and send yourself into space, you can afford to pay more than $0 in taxes.
This is crazy. I mean, like,
see, even other rich people are not impressed. But for some of you, it's easy to say, well, you guys met in a homeless shelter 18 years ago.
Yeah.
So you guys are just salty because, this, successful person is successful and you're a loser. Okay. Well, let's talk about Dan Price, who's the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, in which he decided, instead of just enriching himself, that he would spread the love around at his company, and look at what's happened to his company. He's wealthy, and he's talking that shit. So what do you got to say to him? What do you have to say to somebody like Abigail Disney? What do you got to say to her? She's got more money than you had in your wildest dreams, and she has that.
Yeah,
money.
And when people talk about money, they're like, "Oh, because I started my gas station and shit like that." Dude, we're talking about fucking multi-billionaires who have wealth from generations of like investment, stock holdings, like property holdings for years, for decades. We're not just talking about you starting your small business a few years ago. We're talking about like fucking wealthy elite people who go to like, these fucking spooky conferences in the fucking Idaho and shit like that. We're talking about those people. So I don't like, and at the same time, you think you're going to be those people, but when you see the reality of what they did and how they got it, the odds of it is like, getting away with murder in a lot of ways.
Like you think you're doing something.
Yeah.
But if you're agonizing on whether you should give a 5-cent discount on a candy bar in your store, you're not one of those people.
You're not one of those people at all. If you're worried about your Big Mac costing more money, you're definitely not one of those people.
If you're eating Big Macs, you're not one of those people.
If you see a McDonald's, you're not one of those people.
You know what I mean? Like if you're in a neighborhood and you see a Wendy's, a Burger King, a McDonald's, you're not one of those people.
If you heard of a neighborhood that had a McDonald's and Wendy's, you're definitely not one of those people. Yo, son, if you've been into an apartment that has the paint over, like, the light switch, you're definitely not one of those people. So This is Black Power Magic Hour. That's Dash and Bash. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and Dr. Regines. He's live on Twitch, Discord, and that's Dash and Bash.
If you've heard of Dash and Bash, you're not one of those people.